Oh hey, welcome to another edition of Hand-Laid Tracks and 3D Printed Trains with Socrates. Today we're looking at another piece of track, the number 8 Turnout. Somebody asked about the number 8 Turnout and didn't really need one, but I might find a use for it, so I made myself a number 8 Turnout with the underground servo powering it the way I am normally. And I like to put feeder wires all over, so I got the 2 feeders on the main stock rails, but I also put 2 feeders on the inner frog since these are isolated with the cut there. Make a nice number 8 turnout, which is 8 times this versus that, by the way. If you wonder what number 8 is, in the wrap up we'll talk about it's this ratio versus that ratio, so it goes 8 times this way for 1 times that way, which makes it more of a slower, well, actually, sort of a faster turn, but it's a slower diverging, so you can take it faster off bigger trains and main lines, etc. And like most of my pieces, it essentially follows the standard build with your 2 outside stock rails, 2 diverging rails, 2 frog rails, and a couple guard rails. And I tend to make my guard rails a little bit bigger than, perhaps, I don't know if they're bigger than needed, but I like them. What's the harm in having a long guard rail? So I use 3D printed jigs for everything, and I added an extra tie that's not on this particular jig, but I did on the ones that are uploaded with a little X on it, because I didn't put a tie underneath the tip there. You can see in these photos where I went ahead and I added a little piece of, I used 18 AWG gauge wire, solid wire. I think it's better with a slightly smaller piece. I guess 20 would probably do it because I had to file it slightly flat. And I made the tie cutter. This is one of my favorite things I made for all my various tracks. This is a PCB board tie cutter and gapper. It works in 2 pieces. First you put your PCB boards in here and cut them all to length and then file them down. And then you transfer them into this one, and using a triangle file you cut out the gaps in it, and this makes gapping the PCB boards so much easier. I only did it once without this, and then I decided I had to design something, so I've always made one of these as well. And again, that extra tie, I have it on here as well. It's marked with an X. So either if you don't want to use a tie there, you don't put one in the X, and if you do, put one in the X. And to do the frog, using my clamp system with a block across this, you can put your 2 frog pieces in there, and you can solder the frog tip clamped in there nice and securely. And this has all been used, so you can see it doesn't necessarily get badly damaged in the process. Relatively quick soldering job. It's a nice thing about using the plastic jigs. It encourages you to be quick. And to cut the stock rails and the point rails, so this is the point and frog cutter. So you put your point rails on this side and your frog rails on that side, and it's your number 8 turnout. And to do the diverging rails, they both basically get the edges cut off of them in here. And I think this is used for the stock rails. Sorry, points and frogs, stock rails. There you go. And the points are what you put on your diverging rails. So your frog rails, diverging rails are in here, stock rails in here. And you can see I've used this a bunch of times. I kind of prefer it over the metal because this is more sacrificial. The plastic gives away if it has to. And you can see it hasn't been too badly worn away. And you use this to cut the little piece where on the stock rails, on the outer rails where the diverging rail moves back and forth, and it has a little pocket it goes into. And so for a full video how to make these, because they're pretty standard how you make them all, there's a ASMR version of my number 6 I think, and the number 4 is up there. If you look back in my page, I have multiple turnout videos. And the turnout also has a tie bed with the servo adding area, and also the little servo mount if you use my particular servos, which I got from AliExpress. They're number 2 micro servo. And I also have it without the plastic if you want to somehow mount it with however you mount your servos. And I'd be curious how you mount your servos, and if it works for you as well. That's what a number 8 turnout was. Hit the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Check it out next time. This was Hand-Laid Tracks, 3D printed trains. Making 3D printed train tracks as well. Make yourself a turnout. Go a little left. And if you want, you can go right.